back, please. Lie on your back, please. Have your legs long and have both of your hands on the floor above your head. And begin to slide your legs together and apart, together and apart, together and apart on the floor, like you're making lines in the sand. What do they call this, kids, when they do this in the snow? Making angels, that's it. Make angels with your legs. And find out how far apart can you comfortably have your legs. Okay, and leave them apart, that comfortable distance. Now do the same thing with your arms. Do angels with your arms. Slide them apart, slide them together. And don't go below shoulder height. Just slide them in that place that you consider to be above your head, so that the hands are always above the head. Now slide the hands and the arms. Yeah, the arms and the... sorry. Okay, what do I really mean to say? I really mean to say the arms and the legs. That's what I really mean to say. Oh, corrected so quickly. Nice. Thank you. Now have the legs and the arms apart. And then in your imagination, draw a line from your right hand across through your trunk to the left foot. So that it's almost like you've got this imaginary string running from the right hand to the left foot. And then, still working in your imagination, run another string from your left hand across your body to your right foot. So now you've got two strings running on a diagonal. Notice, where do those strings cross? Those imaginary strings, do they cross in the middle of your chest? In the lower part of your chest? In your abdomen? Over your navel? Could you arrange your arms and your legs so that those strings cross right where your belly button is? So just play around with your imagination and your moving of the arms until you feel that those two chords running on a diagonal from right to left and a diagonal from left to right cross right over your belly button, your navel, which at some time in your life we're all sustained by. This is where we were fed through, and this is where we got our oxygen, and this is where we got everything that we needed from, right at that place. Curious thought. Now stay and lie in that position. And if you know you have arm difficulties, don't stay here for too long, but always come back to here. Now, just think of lifting your head from the floor. Do that several times in your imagination. Lift the head from the floor, put it down. And when you think like this, is there any effect muscularly through your body when you start to engage your thinking, engage your imagination? Can you feel a little glimmer, a tiny little touch of something starting to activate? Some muscle somewhere. Or some muscles somewhere. Now, still thinking of lifting your head, think that you're lifting your head so that your forehead leads the way. And for some of you, just this little change in thinking will create quite a different sensation in your body, in yourself. And now change what you're thinking to lifting your head so that the chin leads the way. Not the forehead, but the chin leads the way. And notice if you experience something different in yourself when the chin leads the way. And alternate between those two different thoughts, the chin leading the way and then the forehead leading the way. And just like when you're moving, give yourself a little bit of a space between each one. A little bit of a gap, a little bit of a refresher gap. Okay? All right, and now think that your nose is leading the way. So you're lifting your head and in your imagination with the nose leading the way. And now change what you're thinking and think that your mouth is leading the way. And after you were born, most of your life was geared around your mouth leading the way to food, to everything. Everything was mouth-oriented. And now think that your eyes are leading the way. And not the nose and not the mouth, but the eyes. And then as we grew up, we became visually engaged with the world, and our eyes started to lead the way. And now think of lifting your head so that your left ear leads the way. And this is quite a different way of lifting your head in your imagination, with the ear leading. Does the head stay in the same plane, or does it change plane? Does it roll when you lead with the ear? And now go across to the other ear. Think of your left ear leading. And now you have several different possibilities for lifting your head. The forehead leading, the chin leading, the nose leading, the mouth leading, the eyes leading, the ears leading, right and left. Could you try out each one of those? Try them out once, try them out several times, but try them out to feel what's different when you lift the head, leading with each of these different places. As you start to lift the head, note what happens in your abdomen, in the navel there. You know the place where the strings are crossing? What's happening there? And when you lead with one ear, what happens across the back of your chest? Do you stay leaning on both sides of the chest equally, or does suddenly one side lean on the floor more than the other? And if you found that the legs are too wide, you can always bring them in. And if you found that the arms are too close together, you can always take them out. So you can adjust a little bit with each lift where the arms and the legs are, so long as those strings are crossing somewhere over around that navel area. Good. Leave that alone and rest, please. Now, you would have noticed that we do have the headrests lying around the room, and we do have towels lying around the room. If you're finding it difficult to lift your head, to actually lift your head, to get it off the floor without the neck feeling disgusting, it might be a good idea to put something under your head, just to elevate the head a little bit off the floor to give you an advantage. If the head is tilted back, that's not a good mechanical advantage. So now is not the time to suffer. I don't know when is the time to suffer, but now it definitely isn't. Alright, so return to lying on your back and arrange your arms and your legs in that kind of X shape. X men and women. And now imagine to yourself lifting your head with your left arm, so that the left arm and head lift together. Remember, recall that you can lift your head in different ways. Now you're just thinking for the moment, oh, some of you are eager beavers. Recall that you can just lift the head in different ways. Find a way of lifting your head that best lets you lift the arm. And start to experiment. Actually lift the head, lift the arm, and if you can have your hands above your head, that works well. Lift the left arm, lift the head. Does it make sense to turn the head? Does it make sense to keep the nose leading forward? Is it better to lead with the chin or lead with the forehead? What makes that left arm feel lighter, the quality easier? Just the left arm. Now, leave that and think of lifting the head with the right arm. Just think it. And if you have a look at brain circuitry, this thinking through process is really important. You know, the wiring goes from those parts of the brain associated with sensation through to the forward parts of the brain that are associated with planning, and then into really particular parts that are associated with action planning. The longer you spend thinking it through, the better the action is planned, ready to go. Then all you have to do is turn on the intention switch, and it's off. Please go ahead and experiment. Lift and lower the head and the arm, right arm at the same time. Now, this is where together really means together. Not the hand and the arm first and then the head. and not the head first and then the arm, together. Check it out. And it doesn't matter how high you lift it. It could be the width of a sheet of paper. That's still lifting. Good, and let that be and rest. So I've already told you that this business of wrapping around the arm of the head is like a physical constraint. You're creating this configuration that encourages you to move in a certain way. Well, you can also have timing constraints. So by asking